What if a small town spent nearly a century refusing to become part of the city surrounding it on both sides, and most people still don't even know that it's there? Today we are in the aptly named Sunset Beach, California, where it is sunny. You got me and P out here, and we're gonna do some exploring. We have some street renovations going on, a beautifully painted bench, and we have a memorial set up for the puppets as well. Beautiful puppy memorial. It's super cool because every couple streets has an access point to the beach. Sunset Beach sits at the northern edge of what is now Huntington Beach, but for most of its history, it wasn't Huntington Beach at all. It was its own thing, a small, stubborn, saltweather community that wanted nothing to do with the cities creeping up beside it. It held on for decades. Finally, in 2011, it was incorporated into Huntington Beach, making it one of the last unincorporated coastal communities in Orange County to give up that independence. Today, we're going to find out why that independence mattered. Now, hippos aren't allowed on the beach, but we'll walk up to the sign. And then you have beautiful coastal access in every direction. Beautiful California sun. We got some kites flying up ahead. Now, if you did want to take your pup on the beach, about a 10-minute walk away is the Bolsa Chica State Beach, and you can bring your pup out there. So, head on down. That is PCH right there. Community building. And I lied. Every street, there's a beach access point. How awesome. She lost her tennis ball. Running through the heart of Sunset Beach is something you don't see much of in Southern California anymore. A greenbelt. A narrow strip of public land that cuts right through the community, deeded to residents as a right-of-way. It's not a park exactly, it's more like a spine. Something that kept this neighborhood connected to itself while everything around it kept changing. And, unlike a lot of coastal communities that have been polished and developed into something unrecognizable, Sunset Beach held on to this. A public corridor that belongs to the people who live here, not to whoever could afford to build over it. Walking it, you start to notice that the architecture here tells two very different stories. They're the originals, small cottages, beach bungalows, buildings with genuine character, places that feel like they grew out of the sand naturally, like they couldn't exist anywhere else. These are the homes that give Sunset Beach its identity. And then, there are the newer builds, larger, more uniform, designed more for square footage than for soul. They're not necessarily bad buildings, they're just not Sunset Beach buildings. You can feel the difference without anyone having to explain it. The character of this place doesn't just live in the older homes. It shows up on the walls too. Murals that probably mean different things to different people, but collectively say the same thing. Somebody here cares about this place. Somebody wanted to leave a mark that wasn't just another structure. It is a perfect 70 degrees out, slight breeze, sunny, everything we pay expensive rent for in California. Pippo's having the time of her life, and it's beautiful. These old beach style houses are my favorite. At the end of each one of these blocks, the greenbelt just opens up. And just like that, you're at the water. No transition, no fanfare, just sand. That's the thing about Sunset Beach. Everything is close here. Everything is immediate. Every few streets there's restrooms too, which is tremendously helpful. And it's not super busy either, so it's easy to get into a stall, do your business, and get out and get back to enjoying Sunset Beach. And then there's this, a converted water tower sitting in the middle of a residential street that could have easily been torn down. And there are plenty of people who wanted it gone, but this community has never been great at letting things go without a fight. And today, it's still standing strong. We are at the end of the greenbelt. We have made it to the famous water tower house that you can actually rent on Airbnb for like $15,000, $20,000 a night or something like that. So we will not be going in there, but we'll check it out. The world-famous water tower was originally built in the late 1800s to serve as steam engines that traversed the California coast. Its replacement was constructed in the 1940s. In the 1980s, the structure was in danger of being removed until the Save Our Water Tower movement was created by local residents. Architects and builders were then commissioned to redesign the structure, which stands at almost 100 feet tall and has become one of the world's tallest residential homes from base to ceiling. Meticulously restored from 2016 through 2017, the water tower stands as one of California's first landmarks. Castle. It's a beach castle. We just finished exploring the greenbelt. Pippa's a little bit tired, but she needed her walk today, so it's okay. We're gonna go get some food and do a little bit more exploring. Saw some architecture, some history. Let's go check out some more. Now, before we leave this side of Sunset Beach, there's one stop worth making. Harbor House Cafe has been sitting on PCH since 1939. And it didn't start out as a restaurant. It started as a beach cottage. Someone just decided to start feeding people out of it, and apparently nobody ever wanted them to stop. Next door to the locally famous Woody's Diner. But this is what we're here for. Walking inside stops you mid-sentence. Wood booths, string lights, vintage signs, movie posters covering every surface. The kind of interior that took decades to accumulate. Because it did. Gary Quick owned this place since 1975 and spent those decades turning it into something that couldn't exist anywhere else. The people here haven't forgotten him, and neither will this place.
Restaurant check.
Had to do a voiceover because there's music playing in the background, but this is a Harbor Cafe classic. English muffin, over easy eggs, country fried steak with hash browns, throwing some ghost powder on there, and of course tapatero to top it all off. A classic. Let's see what this tastes like. Oh my gosh, this is delicious! And that was some damn good food. Whew. The total for the country fried steak came out to be $20.46 or $21.28 hitting your card. And then that was before gratuity, so we gave Chuck a little bit extra because he was great. Shout out him, shout out the food. Got some great food, full belly, great service by Chuck. Thank you again. And we're off to the next.
What's up, squirrel puppy?
And our next stop is Sunset Island. We're going to try and find some old World War II era houses that are currently unlisted, but let's explore. Now the side most people never think to cross into. And this is the entrance to the famed Sunset Island. To understand Sunset Island, you have to go back to Prohibition, the 1920s. When the federal government decided alcohol was illegal, someone still had to supply it. And Southern California's coastline turned out to be perfect for the job. Sunset Beach was a known landing point for rum runners, bootleggers who would bring liquor in by the boat under the cover of darkness, offloading it along the stretch of coast before it made its way inland. The geography made it ideal. Remote enough to avoid attention, close enough to Los Angeles to make it worth the trip. It was an open secret, and for a small community that always had done things its own way, maybe that wasn't so surprising. And then came World War II, and with it, the Naval Weapons Station Seal Beach, built just north of here on land that had been home to a small waterfront settlement called Anaheim Landing. Could this be the mystery house? The world may never know. When the Navy needed that land, the people living there didn't have much say in the matter. But some of them refused to just walk away from their homes. 3 houses, at least, from Anaheim Landing were physically relocated to Sunset Island, picked up and moved rather than demolished. They're still here somewhere, or at least they were.
That looks like it could be World War II.
Driving these streets today, you start looking at the older homes differently. That one, maybe that one. There's no marker, no plaque telling you which 3 made the journey. The Historical Society might have the answers, and we're working on tracking that down. But even without knowing exactly which one survived, you can feel the weight of it driving through here. Somebody loved these houses enough to move them, rather than lose them. In a community that has always fought to hold on to what it has, that feels right. Could either of these two be the mystery house? Possibly. Possibly. These houses look pretty cool and they look pretty old. But we don't know. Could this be a World War II era house? That looks pretty promising. Or is it this one? And that's the end of the road. The harbor. And another possible World War II era house. And it looks like we found the Sunset Beach Women's Club. Sick. We have the world famous Captain Jack's, established in 1965. There's Jack himself, hanging out. Got eyes on the harbor. And these are the very waterways that they used to run rum through during Prohibition. And this is where we'll leave Sunset Beach. Right here on the canal, where paddleboarders drift past homes that have been standing longer than most people realize. It's a quiet place, unassuming, the kind of town you can drive through 100 times and never think twice about. But there's a lot living underneath the surface. Rum runners and relocated homes, a green belt nobody gave up on without a fight, a water tower that refused to come down, a diner that's been feeding the community since before World War II. Sunset Beach has always had a story. Most people just never stop long enough to hear it. And over here we got toes in sand, drinks in hand, and the shoes are optional. If only these waters could talk. Pippo's ready to go. That is it for our explorations for the day. Thank you for watching Exploring Sunset Beach. Hope I did this little quaint beach town a little bit of justice. And I appreciate you all for watching. Pippo and I are out. On to the next adventure, baby.